Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's live stream. We are live, and we are just waiting for Unreal to load up here. So let's just go to the full camera while we're waiting. There we are. Hope everyone's doing okay. Yeah, we're back for question time. A chance for you to ask any question you like inside of our chat. What you do is put your question in the chat, and I'll try and grab as many questions as I can whilst we are live. It's been a busy few weeks behind the scenes here as we've been rejigging a lot of the business side of things and re-strategizing about video releases. So one of the big things we'll be doing, and more details on this as it comes, is currently the plan is to have the longer form series that you're familiar with seeing, is to have them all done, all recorded, all available right off the bat. Instead of having a strip feed over time, they're all going to be available. And so we'll have a big series like that happening every so often. We'll still have like little one-offs talking about different tools and features and answering a few common things that people ask about inside of Unreal. Putting that into the channel as well. So slight change up there. We're going to try and do more serial content like that. In the sense that it's going to be all recorded first and then brought up. And Patreon will get obviously benefits about that as well. But more details on that as it comes. So at the moment, people have been wondering, like on Patreon, probably wondering the content slow down a bit. It's just because we're busy doing that. So yeah, looking forward to getting that first one out at the door. Once the first one's out, I can set up the cadence a lot better. But it's getting that first one out really. Let's get Unreal over here and start answering some questions. The family all good? Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, we're doing okay. Yeah, it's just mostly me, my own burnt out brain. But yeah, we're doing okay. Thank you. Miss Strada, how do you make a weapon that launches a bouncy disc? You can answer that one. We can show that off. I saw someone asking about turn in place. We can go through that as well. Optimization, Doman. If you have a heavy scene, what can you do besides LEDs, light optimization, texture streaming, and mesh streaming? I mean, depends on what the optimization, like where the bottleneck is, but let's assume it's graphical. Okay, because most of the time your optimization is going to be graphical related. So there's a few things you need to make sure you do besides the streaming elements of all that sort of stuff. Get your texture sizes way down. Most of the time, if you're bringing in assets, especially if you bought assets or got assets made by someone, chances are they made them at a high resolution. You don't need them to be at high resolution. Cap it so they don't bring in 4K textures for absolutely every single thing. That's not great. That will do a lot for yourself. Turn off lumen. Nanite, you don't need it either, really. For the most part, unless your scene is really heavy, then you might want it. But lumen, especially, is not optimized greatly for like games yet. Really, it's a bit of a hog. So yeah, there's that. What else? Collisions. Make sure the collision profiles are all correct. So go into your meshes and make sure things that should have collision have got simple collision on them, not anything complex. It depends on when you're noticing drops and performance issues. But yeah. Gooseberry Games. Any recommendations between state trees versus behavior trees? This is actually the second time I've had that question today. So, yeah, we can go through that if you want. Yeah, insights, yeah, is a good way to do it. It can be a bit intimidating. It does eat up a lot of memory, so make sure you point it somewhere with lots of space. But insights is useful. But yeah, if you turn off lumen, how you can make it look similar to lumen. So, I mean, that it should look pretty similar anyway. The thing that you're going to notice probably is Lumen's quite noisy. You don't really need Lumen if you've got static lighting everywhere, like to turn it off. I can't say I've noticed any sort of bluish tint for the scenes, but if that's the case, edit the colors, post processing, color grade your scenes. Not many people do color grading. Color grade your scenes. It really does make a difference. Yeah. Okay, we're good to go. Let's jump in. In fact, I'm going to turn on state trees while we're here. And we'll talk a bit about them a little bit. Let me go to the plugins. State trees. Gameplay state trees. Just restart that. Thank you, Dylan. That's great to hear. Oh, hi, Leroy. Is it possible to get you to show a material for showing a sector of a circle, an arc, with a parameter of radius and an arc angle? Yeah, I can do that. It's too much complicated to work with. Not necessarily. Okay. Hi. Yeah. So, let's tackle one of the first ones. Lucky Foom, you've missed my question. I'm trying to grab as many as I can. Give me a sec. Oh, right, okay. Lucky Foom is asking, in the cat movement component context, the on physics volume updated event only triggers if the player moves into a physics volume by itself. It does not trigger if the physics volume is what moves into the motionless character. What can I do to fix this event? You can't fix the event because the event is what it is. So you have to rethink the problem. And if it doesn't work having the event on the player, maybe consider putting the event on the volume that interacts with the player and then tells the player what to do. Maybe do that. Try that out. Experiment with that. If you ever get stuck with anything like that, it doesn't work, just rethink the problem, try something else, and keep having at it. Okay, right, before I go on to any other questions randomly, I'm just going to go and answer the one person's question was about turning in place type stuff. Ideally, you have an animation for this. I don't have one on me, but I'm going to make do and show you the general gist of this. So, we go into the animation blueprint, wherever that is, in here. Okay. Where's it gone? I was over here. Okay, yeah, water volumes, yeah, I can imagine that being a nightmare. Okay, so the first thing is, how does it work? So when you want to do turn in place, you need to get a value to understand whether it should turn or not turn, or play the animation for turning. And so the turning needs to look at the control rotation, and look at the delta between the control rotation and the active rotation. If you think about the control rotation as the direction they want to be looking at, the active rotation is the direction they are actually looking at, then you need to make it so it looks at the difference between that, and then when it reaches a certain threshold, it'll play an animation. Okay, so you need it to work with that in mind. So I'm going to do it for the player character. Obviously, AI is a similar sort of thing, but it will save me hassle setting up AI stuff. But yeah, so we'll make a function here to get that turning delta. Okay, so we'll call this one get turn delta. And as I said, you want to get the control rotation of, I realised what I forgot. Try get pawn owner. Gotta say, I can't type today. Try get pawn owner. There you go. And get the control rotation of that. And you want to get the actual actor rotation. And you want to get delta between the two. Delta means difference, basically. So what's the difference between the two here? And with that in mind, we only want the yaw. So we're going to take this, I'm going to break it open. We only want the yaw. And we're going to just promote that to a variable for now. And that'll be turn delta. Okay. And then we've just chucked that into our event graph somewhere. I do. Okay. And just to debug it, I'll print string the value. Okay. So as I turn, you'll notice that the camera angle is changing the value left and right based upon which way I'm turning. Okay. So when I reach a certain value, I want it to basically turn on the spot to that location. Okay. So I'm going to do a really crappy animation for this. So bear with. Let's go take an animation we already have. I'm going to take the idle here. And I'm going to create a duplicate of this. We'll do turn left. And this one is just going to take the root here. And I want the root because I want to do root motion for this behavior, really. We're going to turn it. And, well, no, don't need actually root motion. We just need to lock it, I guess. But we want it to look like it's turning. So let's do, I don't know, that there. Key that. And then rotate that around 90 degrees there. Okay. And before that happens, though, we're going to turn the hip first. So let's go to the pelvis. Add a key for that. And then we'll set that to 90. Oh, whoops, I've done the wrong one. Sorry, not pelvis, spine. What we want. Spine, key. Key that there. And we'll change it to world. Like that. And then when we get to here, we need to turn it back 40. Roughly. It'll do. Also, you need it to be faster. So what we'll do in here is we'll just up its scale here by 3. Actually, best not do it by scale because it's going to make everything else look weird. Okay, we'll just go into the curve here and edit this. So edit curve. And we'll bring that in way down here. I'll bring that one basically at the start there. Actually, not at the start. Bring it a little bit more in. Yeah, like that. And then go to the curve of this one. That one we'll bring to a start here. There. There. Oh, what have I done? Did I accidentally edit the scale or something? Yeah, I did, didn't I? There you go. Yeah. Let's go to scale here. There you go. Oh, it'll do. Screw it. So I need to do that, and we'll do the same but opposite for right. And for that, I'm just going to go to the curve, rotation in a yaw here, and we're going to bring that down to negative 100. And then on this one, we'll bring, slow this down. Rotation yaw. We'll bring that into negative, was it 2.5 roughly? And this one, basically you just want to bring it the opposite. It was rubbish, but it'll do. Yeah, whatever, that'll do. Okay, so you have your 2 turn animations, whatever they may be. That's the main thing you want. Okay, so on the event, also animation graph here, we need to make it do that in the idle bit, because that's where it's standing still. So we go to idle here, and I want it to change which animation it's going to do based upon the delta it has. So let's go into make another state machine here, and we'll do turn state, and we'll do a conduit is idle. Ooh, that's weird. Oh, whatever. And then it will go either to turn left or to turn right. Oh, I think it's going to give me an issue with this as well. Oh no, it's fine. So it is idle here. The transition is going to enter. So when turn delta is greater than, let's say, I don't know, 50. Well, actually, it was 90. So we'll go to like 70. There we go. Oh, we want the abs as well, by the way. You want the abs. Absolute. Because you don't care if it's left or right. You want just if it's turning. Now go into a conduit. So conduit is just going to allow it, and then it's going to decide from there which direction to go into. And so on turn left, we take the turn delta, and we just say if the turn delta is less than 0, do that one. If turn delta is greater than 0, you do this one. And you do turn line. Right, there we go. This is not the way. There are loads of ways of doing this. I've done it with before with blend spaces as well. So some of you may have done something a bit different. That's fine. Yeah. Hi everyone. How you doing? So yeah. So we've got is idle going into one of these. Okay. So before that, then I want to actually do a state for idle. And then it'll go into there. In idle, we'll just have a normal idle animation. God's sake, come on. Nope. Idle. Into there. Okay, so then you've got the transition here. The transition here is basically the same as this transition here. So we're just going to have that in here. Same thing. Okay. Back into idle state. That will just go into there. And we're not using that one anymore. Okay, so it might look a bit crap and ropey. But when I turn... I've got it wrong way. It will do the different animations. Also, I need to turn it to root lock as well. Hold on. Go to these turns here. Oh, not root lock. Well, we've got two things you can do. You can either root lock it and then tell it to follow the active rotation, or you can tell it to root motion. If you do make it root motion, like this, why is that doing like 360? I don't know. Right, I'm going to root lock it then. Why is that not root locking? What? Oh, screw it. We'll do it the other way. So you have this playing, but what we're going to have happen when that delta does reach a certain point is briefly change it to use the active rotation. Sorry, the active rotation. Change the move component to use the control rotation. Sorry, rather than anything else. So yeah, we've got character done there. So we go to get turn delta. We'll get the character reference here. Actually, we'll get the character movement component. And from here, we'll do set orient. Ooh. Use controller desired rotation. Like that. And set orient rotation to movement. And basically, these are going to flip based upon whether the turn delta is greater than a threshold. So if the absolute of this is greater than 70, I think I put, we want it to use the controller desired rotation. Otherwise, we want it to flip it and use the orient rotation to movement. And that should do it. Oh, got it the wrong way round, but yeah. Yeah, make it go the right way round. It's turn state. Just want to be if it's less than 0. This one if it's greater than 0. So similar sort of concept to that, just with better animations, obviously. Where's an update? There you go. Oh, it's getting stuck in it. Hold on. It's getting stuck in it because I haven't told it to go back. So this turn left and turn right need to go back to idle. Like that. And we just make these automatic. So as soon as it finishes playing, it'll just go back to being idle. Yeah? No? Why not? Okay, it's still stuck in it. Why is it not going back? It should be automatic. I think we're based. Yeah. Not set to loop or anything. Animation. How long? Oh, wait, these animations are really long. Let me just shave them. Remove frames there. And do the other one there. If you can't see the edge of the screen, chances are you're looking at the vertical. I can't fit it all into the same thing. Oh, I just crashed. Brilliant. We have a vertical and horizontal stream of this. So if you want to watch the horizontal version, go back to horizontal version. We're experimenting with vertical. I don't think it's going to work out too well. We might turn it off in future streams. Now, has it forgotten everything I was doing? Right, so back here. Remove frames. It does not like me removing frames. Why not? I think it's because I got curves on it. There's 2 streams. Go back to the channel and you'll see there's 2 streams. Svetlana. Well, you get the gist of it. I'm not going to take off the curves and put it on again, but yeah, make it shorter, obviously. You need to be a very quick animation, and then it will be fine. But yeah, there you go. That's a way of doing it. Yeah, I'll turn off vertical for next one. It was just a new feature they turned on. I was interested to see how it worked. Obviously, not well. Oh, I just ripped my headphones out. There you go. Anyway, right, let's go to another question. Chris, is there a way to replicate tilt shift photography effect in UE? Funny you should say that. I was literally experimenting with that the other week. I've yet to come up with a nice solution for it. So hold on to that. I'm interested in trying to do it myself. So yeah. Thank you, USP45 Master. Okay, let's go back up and see if we can find other animations. 1 second. Hey, Goodillo. Rank 10 McDonald. Hello, Ryan. When doing a big main widget like in Witcher, when press tab, inventory, map skills, quests, etc., are we removing this widget or creating all the time or create once and changing visibility? For a big one like that, you're probably better off just changing visibility and bring it back up and on. Yeah. Basically it. Sneermar, can you make a guide on how to create split screen like It Takes Two or split fiction games? I don't know how they handle some of their stuff they've done in that. Obviously, split screen's relatively simple in Unreal, but that's standard split screen. What they're doing is some other magic trickery. I'm not entirely certain how they achieve that. It involved me researching and developing ideas for that. But yeah. Okay, scrolling up. Oh yeah, Leroy. The what was the one you had? Material for showing acceptable circle. Oh yeah, that's right. So how to do an arc thing. Yeah, material. So we create material. Bring it over here. And I'm assuming this is for UI or decal or something. It doesn't matter. Same diff. I'll show it on the plane here. So you want to use something like a sphere mask. Now you can also use a texture if you want, but sphere mask works just as well. So your texture coordinate will go into A. Your center point will go into B. And it'll be 0.5, 0.5 because a UV coordinate is 0 to 1. So 0.5, 0.5 is right in the middle. Radius is going to be 0.5 as well. Actually, I'll just type it in for now. And then hardness is 100. And then when I plug it into base color, I get a circle. Okay, circle. If I wanted to mask this so I see like a section of the circle, that I could do as well. So that section of the circle is using a vector to radial node. To radial value. And what that does is we're going to put in a vector here, and we'll put in a texture coordinate. And we are going to, I'll just show you what these do actually. So radial coordinates will do this. Show. Okay, so the center point is now in the top left there. It's turned it to a radial. Now, this is going to be true for all three of them. We need to bring that center point into the center. So we need to, from here, subtract from it 0.5. And that'll move it into the center there. Why is it going so slow? Yeah, there you go. So this is radial coordinates. Vector converted to angle is this one. Okay, which is the one we're going to be using. And then you have linear distance, which is this one. Okay, so we're going to, as I said, be using vector converted to angle. And we can combine that with our sphere mask here. Now the way we actually lop off some of this is we want to basically step it and then use it as a lerp. So first of all, let's just combine these two together here. So I'm going to take that, multiply that with the sphere mask, bring that to base color, and you get this sphere going out like this. Then we're going to step it, step, And what step does, it basically is put in a value. Anything below that value becomes 0, and the other direction becomes 1. I might have got it the wrong way around. So put in like 0.3. Yeah. So 0.3, you see, it's kept like the latter half of it. Okay. So anything above that is turned into white. Anything below is turned into black, or vice versa. I don't know how you want to work it out. Anyway, so now I'll step it into there. We're going to use that as a lerp alpha. So linear interpolate. I'll go into there. Then I'll go into there. Okay, and then we've got white and black. And you may want to do it the other way around. So we're going to do 1 minus. And that'll flip it like this. Okay. So I can control the step here based upon the angle that I want to do, the percentage. So we'll take that as a scalar parameter value. And that would be %. And that would be the percentage of the angle. Now, if you want to type in an angle rather than a percentage, you can do that too if you want. So let's say we change that to arc angle. You just need to take this and find out what it is divided by 360. And then put it into there. So with an arc angle of, let's say, 90 degrees, you'll get that. Okay. And obviously that's not correct what we want. We want to have 90 degrees up here. So I've actually got that round the wrong way. So I want that to be... That will go into there. No, what do I do? Because it goes round the other way. What you want it to. Right about that. Oh no, it goes around that way. Yeah, so 0 starts here and it goes around that way. Yeah, that's right. That is right. Okay. Okay. So we want to basically do the opposite of that. So let's take that from 360. So subtract. Do 360, subtract the angle, divided by the angle, 90 degrees. I put in 45, 45 degree angle, 30, 180, and so on. Okay, so you can do the angles like this, and it goes into here. Okay, so that's the first part. The second part is if you want it to rotate it. So let's say it is 60. Oh nope, wrong place. 60 degrees. Okay, but I don't want it to be that direction. I want to angle it, which you probably want to do for most time, because you actually, for the most part, want it to be facing in the X direction. So you want the center of your arc angle to be rotated around like this. Okay, so what we're going to do is do something called a custom rotator. And in here, you put in the UVs you want to rotate, the rotation center, and the angle you want to rotate it. And our rotation is handled by our texture coordinate here. So I'm going to put in the UVs into there. That into there. The rotation center is going to be 0.5, 0.5. And the rotation angle is going to be my arc angle divided by 360. But then divided by 2 again. So I want to do it halfway. Ooh, like that. And that'd be the arc angle. And I may have got that in the wrong place. We probably want to do the subtract the other way around. Probably makes more sense to do that way. Okay. Okay. So, oh yeah, sorry, the rotation angle here. We've got the angle, and I want to rotate it -2. No, not -2. Wait, what am I doing wrong? 2. Hold up. Oh, I haven't. So you have to divide this bit by 2. Sorry, divide by 2. There we go. That's what I wanted. So you divide the angle by 2 and then do all your maths on it, but it comes out like this. And once you've got that, then you can do whatever you want with it, because that is X is even being forward. So if you want to attach this to a decal and then rotate the decal, you can do it like that. If you actually just want to rotate the material itself, well, you can do that quite easily. You just put in the whatever rotation angle as a separate scalar here. Okay. Yeah, does it make sense? Bonus points even given outline. Oof. Don't know about outline, but I mean, you probably could. Could we do an outline? You've got me thinking now. Could we do an outline on a material? I've never done an outline on material before, so that might be quite cool to try out. I mean, yes, you could subtract a scaled version of itself, but the problem with a scaled version is it's not scaling from the center point correctly. Could it will scale from the center here and it won't look right. It will look a bit weird. So like if I were to do subtract here and subtract from that, we'll do that again. Subtract that from there, but in this case we'll subtract it by well, actually we'll scale it a little bit to 1.1 1.1. Oh no, sorry, 0.9. So it's not great. So I probably wouldn't do it that way, and it won't be even if you do work out a good way of doing it like that. The better way of probably doing it is probably doing a look at the individual pixels and seeing which ones are white and which ones are black, and when it detects that it is on an edge, give it an outline. So the way you do something like that is you do a blur sample offsets, and what this does is you put in this will put in any sort of position, and it will give you the pixel to the left, to the right, or right to the left, down, and up above it. Yeah, or so on. Yeah, so it'll give you that there. So we want to do texture coordinate, add that on. Well, that's not going to work because that's 0.1. Not 0.1, it's 1. I don't know. Normally you're doing this with a post-process material, which is a slightly different setup. Use screen position instead, but I wonder if we get around this. Basically, to get all the 4 pixels around it, add them all up. Oh, sorry, not pixels. Sorry, you want to get the we want to get the value of it. I don't know. I'll have to experiment and R&D it, but I'm sure something along those lines you could do an outliner. Obviously, you could plug it into your opacity and do its thing. But I'll look into doing outliners in materials. I say I've never done it before. Invest in having a look like that. Yeah. Sergio, if you have a translucent material, how can you cull the back faces of the model? Yeah, okay. So let's say we have a model here. Right, we'll bring this up here. We'll give it another material, a translucent one, and let's go there. Put a capacity of 0.5, whatever. We'll change to red now. Okay. So if you were to put a translucent material on an object like this, it's not going to show you any of the back faces through the material. But I'm guessing you mean wait, no. How can you code a back face as a model? It should be culled automatically because two sides turned off. There's a setting in here that you turn off and on, and it sounds like you may have turned it on. You may have turned it on. Two-sided. Yeah, this one. If you turn that on, then you'll see the back faces. See, I'm inside of it now. I can see the back faces of the material. But let's do an actual mesh with this. Let's go to duplicate that briefly, and we'll just go into polygroup edit. Oh, hang on, just generate polygroups. Okay, so you took so here I've got no back face on this side of it, and I'll just delete the top as well. Okay, so it's like a little tray essentially. So with the two sides turned on, you can clearly see here that looks thicker. Yeah. If I go back and turn two-sided off, you're not going to get that because it will only shade that one side. So I'm interested to know what you're doing to not get this result. Or am I misunderstanding your question? I might be misunderstanding the question. Well, I'm going to show you one thing, a bonus tip with regards to two-sided objects. So with this, for example, you can actually get the side of which side of the face is facing. Okay, so you get two-sided sign, and we'll use that as a lurk maybe, like that. And we'll say A, use that one. B, we'll use that one. We'll change this one to like green or whatever. And oh wait, I've got to turn two-sided on. Two-sided. There we are. And you get this effect where it's red on one side and green on the other. But I don't know if people are looking for that. I don't know, but there's a cool little trick you can do. Use two-sided signs. Next question. Let me know if you need further information there. Spark Labs gave me hi everyone. Are you still doing private sessions or are they on hold? Nope, we're still doing them. So we've actually just launched all new services recently. Well, I say they're new. They're not really new. They're just refined. So I'll bring them up. So the website got redesigned a short while ago. Yep, and you go to services up here. And then you got information about the sessions over here. Plus, you got other services down here too. So, if let's say, for example, you're starting a studio, you want support with that. We've got that in there. If you want to go through optimization tweaks, and like we share the project over, go for optimization and performance improvements, things like that. So we'll run it through insights and things like that. Yeah, lots of information. By means, check it all out. We've got full terms and service now on there. In any case, you want to just book a session, just contact us. If you want one of these services, we do actually offer a free 15-minute consult to find out what it is actually you need. It may be that you may just need the sessions. But if you're curious about these and want to know if these are applicable for you, you can book a free 15-minute session on our website straight away. So yeah, we're offering all these sort of things on there. It's basically stuff that we've done anyway in the past with other people. It's just now pigeonholing them correctly and giving them properly terms and conditions and things like that, and doing it the right way. Also, if you're an educator, so if you're in a college or university and you want support in actually teaching this stuff, we also do that too. Including any talks and things like that you may want to do. Yeah. But yeah, do check it out. Website's got a lot more information on it now. Yeah, I think it's looking a little bit tidier, a little bit neater. Yeah. Anyway. So Matt, what you're referring to actually involves multiple steps. So one is you have to move, the character will move a little bit into space. Then you have to IK the hand to the object, and then make the then on notify pick up the object. If you want it to be as seamless as possible, you're looking at a lot of work to get that looking right. More brain power than I have. So yeah, good luck with that. But you do it with IK typically, but you're still disappearing an object and teleporting it to the hand or attaching it straight to the hand. There's usually a little pop, but the IK sort of hides it a little bit. But if you want it to be dead on accurate, as realistic as possible, ask the guys at Naughty Dog. They know how to do that stuff. I don't. You'll see in a lot of games when people hand stuff to other players or other characters during cutscenes, you never actually see it go from hand to hand. It always cuts away. For that reason, it's just a pain in the ass to do. It's a lot quicker and easier to cut away. Yeah, no problem, Spark. That's great. James Macklemore. Hey Ryan, I'm almost done with my quick little game I've been working on and been wondering how should I advertise it for when I put it on the store. Any ideas for those on a budget? So I mean, nothing really groundbreaking. You have to remember that the goal is with Steam, Epic, PlayStation, Xbox, mobile, whatever the case is, these stores are very saturated. No one's going to stumble upon your game. Yeah, it's just impossible. They're not going to stumble upon it. It's not going to be. No one clicks through the storefront like curious what's going on, and find a random game to try out. That's not going to happen. So the only way they get there is if you direct them to it. And so if you've got people following you already, it's a lot easier to direct them to it. But if you don't have that following, you need to build that following to direct them to it. You need to find ways to direct people to that store page. It's very basic stuff. Like, sounds very basic, and it is. And it is very difficult to do on a budget. But there are loads of little streamers and services out there that you can ask, hey, can you please help us out and just check out my game and see what you think. Share what you're doing with your game on social media, build up a following there. Talk about your work, talk about your game a lot before you release it. Yeah. Yeah, Reddit groups, yeah, all that good stuff. Leroy, I've not noticed any issues with that. No, can't say I have. No, I've never encountered anything issues with box trace. Can't say I use it much, so we can do a quick check on here. Left click. Oh, left mouse button, sorry. Box trace. Get actor location. We'll trace it out. Yeah. I saw a question as well. Someone asked, and I always get asked this question: "It's like, how do I learn this stuff? Or like, what do I do?" Honestly, I just play with it. That's all I do. It's just play with it. Try to make sense of what I'm playing with and understanding how it works. It's like taking your toys apart to find out how they work. It's the same thing. That's all I do. Half size will do 100 by 100 by 100. So orientation is the one you're saying is the one that's crashing it. So I don't know. Let's do 90. Not 90. Let's do 45 in the Z there. Motion matching for pickups. No. It'll be IK. Do I use gas in Mimic or custom ability system? No, it's all custom. There's not many abilities in it, so no point overcomplicating it. I need to put debug on. So yeah, simple. Any updates on Mimics? Yeah, I keep trying to get something sorted out for that. I've been held held back by so many things, trying to like website stuff getting sorted out, doing some contract stuff, all business related stuff, CEO stuff. So trying to sort that all out and then get back on Mimic. But I really want to do is do a weekly play session with people in the community. So we will be doing that at some point. I'm hoping that will be relatively soon. Yeah, no problem. Works fine. So it must be a local crash you're having, Leroy? Is the chicken game out yet? No, not yet. That's what I call my palate cleanser game. So when Mimic stresses me out, I go jump on with the chicken game. It's a lot simpler. But lately it's just been swamped with other stuff. As I said, we're working on changing the way that we are doing videos a little bit on YouTube. So for those who didn't catch it at the start, the series that we normally do, like we do inventory series, go-kart series, blah blah blah, rather than the way they're recorded at the moment is not great because obviously it takes ages for them to come out. It takes ages for me to get through them. It's just not great for anyone all around. It's a bad experience. So trying to improve that. And so for those sort of series, the longer ones, the ones that are like over 5 episodes, they're going to be now whole entire series or courses that are designed properly with challenges and everything else. Lesson outcomes, all of that good stuff, and being recorded all in one go, edited all in one go, and then released all in one go. And the plan is that the top tier and patrons will get the whole course right up front, and then other Patreon members will get it in sections, like ahead of everyone, and YouTube will be just a weekly schedule. And obviously Gold and High will get the project files. There'll be starter project files people can access to as well. So we're kind of doing things like that a little bit differently now. And it should be a lot better for everyone involved. Myself, the editor, Billy, and you guys obviously as well. It's just been, it feels like I've been, what's the phrase? I don't know what the phrase is, but it feels like I've just been constantly just trying to play catch up all the time. And it's not great. I want to get ahead of it a little bit better, so we can do more fun and interesting things. So yeah, hopefully that'll be good. how would you make an area of wind for affecting arrow shots? That would be a whole custom thing you have to do. Yeah, you have to make a whole custom, because there is a wind actor, but that only works for physics objects and cloth. Your arrow will be using projectile movement most likely, so it won't work with that. So you need to make your own sort of thing which sort of manages it. So I would do something like this. I would make a blueprint class actor and call it a wind volume, and in there we're going to have a box collision like that, and I want to update the wind property on the player character. Okay, so on the player character I'm going to have a wind property, wind vector we'll call it, and that'll be a vector, hence the name, wind vector. And when the event graph happens on active begin overlap, we'll just do cast to your third person character, whatever it may be, and then set the wind vector to a variable, which is this wind vector here. That would be it, roughly, and then using that when I shoot the arrow to determine like how much offset I should give it. That would be the approach I'll take. And just so physics and cloth look normal in here, I would also add the wind actor in here. I don't think it's a component, you have to add it as a child actor. Just so it looks like the wind is blowing it as well. So wind directional source there. And you can give it some settings down here, like what strength it has, blah, 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 blah. And if you want to use that child actor there as the wind vector, you can do as well. You just need to get hold of the child actor first. So get the child actor, cast to the wind actor. Yeah, and then you get the direction. Or whatever it's called. Component, wind direction component, yeah. Get wind direction component. And then from there we can get direction. Yeah, get all this stuff, basically. Yeah. Yeah, you put that into there, put it into the wind vector here. So, that works. Do you have, or do you plan to have any new series on Anime AI for UE5 Plus? The new AI things we've got coming out are to do with state trees. That'd be that. Just showing how you use state trees for that. We've got a few things I'm going to try and do with state trees for you guys to show you that sort of stuff. That'd be cool. But yeah. Have you ever done a custom inspector in Unreal? A custom inspector? What do you mean by a custom inspector? Like an item inspector type thing? Spark Labs. Building a charge gun, it plays a sound while charging. I'm using retriggable delay for the charge, but how do I make the charge sound effects fade out when the delay is not complete? I honestly would just use meta sounds to handle all that for me. I ain't got time to go through it now, actually, but meta sounds would be a lot easier because then you can set up multiple trigger inputs and you can like lerp it down at a speed and tempo, so you can do some interesting things for that. Yeah, Mr. Trickster. So basically, a 14-part series of anime AI is still viable. I can't remember how many parts it was, but yeah, there's 2 series. There's one I've done in UE4 and there's one I've done in UE5. I'd recommend the UE5 one. But yeah. Oh, hiding properties on the condition for not without editing the engine source. No, Alex, I haven't done it personally. No. You can explain what inverse kinematics are. So inverse kinematics. So you have forward kinematics and inverse kinematics. Let's say I want to animate an arm. Forward kinematics indicates that I want to animate it this way. I want to animate the shoulder bone first, then this bone, and then this bone. Yeah. Inverse kinematics, I do it the other way. I grab this bone, tell it where to go, and then it goes up the chain and it animates these positions correctly based upon conditions I set it. So like constraints. Yeah. So that's inverse kinematic. It goes that way up the chain rather than that way down the chain. So that's why it's called inverse kinematics. That's what it's actually doing. Actually, how to use it though? Sure. So if we go, I mean, what's the quickest way of showing that? Probably the control rig, really. So you can set it up in control rig, or you can also do little things in the animation blueprint as well. But essentially, you've got an effector and you've got a target. In general terms, anyway, there are different types of inverse kinematics that can do different things, but generally you have an effector and the target for the effector, and you may also have like what's it called? Something point. I can't remember the name of it. There's a point basically where your elbow pointing when you like bend it. So if I bend my elbows, is it going to bend like that, or is it going to bend like that? Like you can do different things like that. So, oh wait, Alex, if you want to know how to, I don't know if this is what you're talking about, but you can search for things down here and find results and find things. Is that what you're looking for? You just search for what you want down here. I don't know if that's what you're referring to, but yeah. Anyway, yeah. So on the control rig here, if we go to like the feet, for example, I'm gonna click on this box here. This is the foot IK control, which is down here, and when I move it, it's going to move the other bones as well. Okay, and this is that point I'm referring to. What would they call it? I don't know. Follow point? I don't know. Basically, it tells you where to bend it. So if I was to move this point, you can see how it bends the knee differently. But inverse kinematics allows us to reposition the joints, and it'll do it all for us, which makes things a lot quicker and easier. So basically what you do with your hands is you tell your hand where you want it to go. Now, inverse kinematics isn't set up for this hand, I don't think. It's all FK, FK, FK. Yeah, just FK. So you set up an IK rig on it, and you can do it that way. You can also do it, as say, in animation blueprint. In animation blueprint, here. If I just do it at the end here. So there's different IK. So we've got two bone IK, spline IK, hand IK, fabric, which is forward and backwards. No, forward and backwards. Reverse IK. I can't remember what it stands for now. But yeah, so you got these two, like two bone, one of the more common ones, straightforward ones. So you put in your thing in here. You say what bone you want it to move. So we'll say I want to move the right hand or left hand. There you go, left hand. And you tell it, okay, where's the effector location space? So what value I put in here, where is it going to reflect that? So I'm going to leave it in component space, but this could be world space, bone space, depends on where you're getting that vector from. For now, I'll leave it in component space. I'm then going to go down to the that'll do. That's all we're going to do. So the effector location here, if I were to compile this, you see it's going to point down. And that's because the effector location is set to 0, 0, 0, which is down there by the root. If I move that effector location, then that's going to move where the hand goes. So if I moved it in the X here by 50, up in the air by 100, and then go forwards by 50, you can see how it's behaving very differently. Right? And if obviously was giving this a different value, it would modify and change the value there. So if you think about grabbing an item off the floor, you'd actually give it the world location of that item you want to grab. And then the hand animation will go across, apply it, and then pick it up and put it back in. Essentially. Yeah, and that will go into there. And as you can see, I can move it around. And you can see it change the values. Okay. The joint target location. So that is referring to where the joint is. So if I change the X value here to not 100, let's do 50. And move that over here. When I can, let me change this down to 0, 0, 0. And let's change that to, I don't think I'm actually using the joint target. Yeah, no, I'm not. Joint target. Component space. Should be right. That's not going to work. Hold on. Why is it not affecting it? What have I done wrong? Probably have to bend the effector location. Yeah, so if I were to do this, there we go. So this joint effector is going to change how the elbow bends, for example. So if I bring this back this way, you can see it kind of looks busted. That's because the effector is right in front. So obviously that effector would be behind it somewhat. Okay. And it points to all these bones will point to it and basically bend it towards it. So yeah. But yeah, you do that. You can also do the whole like body thing. So when I pull the arm, it'll pull the whole body as well. I've got some videos on it, but check them out. But that's IK in a nutshell. Essentially, you pass through here the world space coordinate of the item you want to pick up, and it'll go over to it. But be very careful, because if the world space coordinate is too far away, it won't stretch, because you can turn on stretching if you want, but it's not turned on by default. If I turn it on, you can kind of guess by the name what this does. Oh no, or not. We should. Have I got the right one? Yeah, effect location. Should. Might have some other constraints on the control rig, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, you can do various things like that. Yeah. That's two bone. There's a few others. Forward, backward, IK. It's like different. So if we do it with the hand with forward and backward IK, do that then. Split that. Effective target. It's gonna be the hand again. Yeah. Component space. Yep. So this one you designate the tip bone and root bone. So the tip bone here is going to be to the hand, and the root bone will be the clavicle. We'll turn debug on so we can see that doing its thing. And and I should be able to let me move that. Nope. Okay. Not as interactive as everyone is. Yeah. Similar sort of thing. Oh. You see it's breaking it a bit though. Yeah. But you can do other things, like if I change the root bone of this to be let's say the spine. You see it's going to bend the whole body. Yeah, it's taking account of all of it. Which is kind of a cool effect. So if you wanted to lean over and grab something, you can do that. You know? Yeah. Oh, right, you want to hide enum choices. I see what you mean. I don't think you can in default editor setup. You can give might be some plugins. If not, you have to make your own solution for it. But I don't believe there is actually. Yeah. But yeah, conditional visibility for parameters. Yeah. How realistic is it for Epic to replace C++ with Verse in UE6? Not realistic at all. That is the dumbest idea. I still don't understand Verse. Why? Well, I don't understand why they want to do Verse. I don't get who it's targeting. Whatever. Um, it's just more confusing. It needs to be to have a yet another language inside this engine. Like when these two are fine. Yeah, I don't agree with it at all. I don't understand why they are pushing it as a thing, or why they're dedicating so many man hours to it. Yeah, it's dumb. I understand it in the context of UEFN because you can, like, blueprints are, if anything, too open for UEFN. You can't use blueprinting in it. I understand that. Obviously, you can't use C++ because it's very open. And you can't have it too open because it's still Fortnite. It's still a protected property. You can't do stuff like that. So they needed to come up with a way of making their own language, which they have full control over from the get-go. So they just made a new language. They've made Verse. And then that's the logic I can see behind it. I don't mean it. I don't think it'll. I doubt it'll run better than C++ does. So yeah, I think it's a fruitless effort, but whatever. It won't replace anything. It'll just be alongside it. Hell, they still haven't replaced a lot of stuff that was UE3 stuff in here. There's still UE3 legacy stuff in UE5. So yeah. But yeah. Anyway, we'll have to end it there because I've got to go into a session. Yeah, I think that's the case as well. USP. Yeah, I think that's the case as well. But I do have to go. Unfortunately, I wish I could stay and answer more questions, but I do actually have to go because I've got to go into a class with someone and then to help them out. So I want to say a massive thank you to everyone who is supporting the channel on here as well as on Patreon. If you want to support the channel, head over to patreon.com/RyanHaley. What's on there at the moment? We've got gameplay tag stuff, which is kind of cool and interesting to do. State tree stuff. I can't remember if that's out here or not. There's also a pinball. We're doing pinball stuff on there. We're doing physics, teaching about physics stuff in pinball. There's all sorts of stuff coming in and out. But we've more importantly got, I say, that course coming out very soon. Well, I say very soon. As soon as we can. It depends on how busy I get. But really wanted to get it out. It'd be really good. I think everyone will enjoy it as well. The plan is for courses to not just be a passive thing, but to be active. So the idea is there'll be modules, and then each module will have a challenge at the end of it. And if you've ever done the Making Your First Game series, I've done UE4, it'd be similar sort of setup, but challenges more frequently. So you actually get tested and asked to take what you've learned and expand on it. Add your own little spin on things, which is really cool. Planned out the whole scheme. That's all there. I'm now building out the project, and then I've got to rebuild it to record it. So yeah, I'm going to be doing that. It's coming along quite nicely. Anyway, I do have to go. Thank you very much, everyone. Take care. Have a good night, and I'll see you all next time. Bye, everyone.